Yo, what up everyone? Last week Crytek released a developer update telling us about the ping separation matchmaking system currently being disabled due to some bugs within the system. That is disappointing, but fully understandable. And I'm sure we will get it back shortly. But this is not what this video will be about. In that article, they also mentioned that there's currently a bug, or there was a bug which has been fixed now, in which console players and PC players would occasionally get matched together with a 0.02% chance. And that's what we're gonna talk about the potential of crossplay coming to Showdown. Since a little bit over a week, the Xbox Game Pass for PC users has been granted access to Showdown, and the implementation of a crossplay system is being worked on, which has been confirmed by Crytek in a Reddit post, like you can see here. On top of that, there have been reports that since the beginning of the event, there have been cases in which console and PC players have been accidentally matched together in the same lobby. This also has been confirmed by Crytek, but was unintended and is basically a bug. Like you see in this post, there seemingly was a 0.02% chance for that to happen, which is incredibly low, but all the informations combined show that Crytek is currently experimenting with the idea of crossplay in general. If there was not an infrastructure in place that allows crossplay between PC and console players, it would not have been possible for that to happen in the first place. Showdown has been out on console since the end of 2019 for Xbox, and I'm playing this game since 2018 on PC. The circumstance of PC players and console players being matched together is a very first time for me, and I've never heard about it ever since I started playing the game. I might be wrong here, but I think this is the very first instance that has happened, which indicates that there is an infrastructure for that to happen being worked on. And this will be the topic of this video. I want to talk about the benefits and downsides of a potential crossplay system. We will talk about the benefits, the negatives, and scary topics like aim assist. I also am a Crytek partner, and before we dive into this topic, I would ask all of you to be as respectful as possible. I am trying to spark a healthy discussion and am not a Crytek zombie. I'm first of all a gamer before anything else, and Hunt was my favorite game even before I became a Crytek partner. And for me, Hunt being a good game is the #1 priority. Okay, we will start with the positive side of the crossplay coin. Crossplay would be an amazing tool to increase the player base. A possibility to make new friends and increase exposure for Showdown in general. Like I said already, Showdown has been added to the Xbox Game Pass for PC, and we are currently having a crossplay situation between gaming libraries, as in Steam and Xbox Game Pass. And I personally think that is a great idea. It doesn't hurt anybody. I would even go as far as putting Showdown into the Epic Store. The more exposure, the better. More players means more money, and will end up with more and faster content for all of us. On top of that, console players have been asking since forever to be able to invite their friends from different platforms, as in Xbox and PlayStation players, to be able to play together, especially since they are being matched against each other already, like it works in many other games. This would be the perfect addition for a system which allows cross-platform invites, keeping PC and console players separated from each other. On top of that, I personally wouldn't mind an infrastructure that allows PC players to invite their console friends into their group, as in I can invite my friend who owns an Xbox to play together. But the caveat would be that there will be no benefits for them, no aim assist or anything like it. Players can play with their friends, which would be fun, but the downside would be having to deal with playing against mouse and keyboard players, which would not be a problem since everyone agreed to enter the match with a potential disadvantage before going into it. I could even see a system in which console players could check a box that allows them to enter a play against PC players queue to speed up queues in less populated regions or times of the day during which the player base is lower than usual, or to simply have a little bit of an extra challenge to be able to fight against mouse and keyboard players. I think it is very important to not turn on Showdown into a Call of Duty or Apex Legends kinda level of crossplay, because in my opinion, no matter how you turn it, there will always be one side of the PC and console crossplay solution which will be unhappy when crossplay is the default and not optional, as I just explained. The number one reason for that is that mouse and keyboard as an input device is simply much more accurate and provides a major advantage in FPS games. As in, PC players usually have an advantage against console players simply due to accuracy levels provided by mouse and keyboard, which controller by default cannot even compete against or even reach. This is an FPS genre quote-unquote issue, and in other gaming genres controllers completely outperform mouse and keyboard, especially in games like fighting or racing games for example. But when it comes to first-person shooters, mouse and keyboard is simply more accurate. This problem has been recognized by a lot of other dev teams before who entered the crossplay bubble, and usually is compensated with aim assist, which is a nightmare to balance and a completely different problem that nobody really likes talking about. And this is a part of the video in which we talk about the dark side of the coin when it comes to crossplay. Aim assist for console players is a tool which basically gives controller players a soft aimbot to be able to compete against mouse and keyboard players. Many games have it and it never feels fair. It either is undertuned and console players suffer due to feeling like not being able to have a fair fight against PC players, or it is completely overtuned to a degree that most players stop playing with mouse and keyboard altogether, since aiming on controller in combination with aim assist makes the game significantly easier and lowers the skill ceiling or shifts the skill ceiling of the game from who has the best aim, whoever has the best movement and game sense, while aiming becomes irrelevant in the bigger picture. We have seen this in many games like Call of Duty or Apex Legends for example. Nobody likes it and everyone complains about it. I'm not trying to insult the Crytek team at all, but there is not a singular development studio out there who has figured out the perfect aim assist yet. And I highly doubt that if Crytek would implement crossplay between console and PC, that they are going to be the ones to solve the puzzle. Again, crossplay between PC and console is not confirmed and we are simply having a discussion about it before it does happen, since they are certainly working on it and there is somewhat of an infrastructure for it in the background already. Otherwise, the 0.02 bug of console players and PC players being thrown into the same lobby would have never happened in the first place. This is also not a I dislike console players discussion, but this is a crossplay would be bad for either me as a PC player or the console players. It does not really matter who would end up on top, but it is certain that in the circumstance of a crossplay between the platforms, that one side would be unhappier than the other. It is not about who is winning, but about there being someone who is definitely losing. As in, one side of the equation will have less fun than before the implementation of crossplay. It could either be PC players moving away from the game due to feeling like their time invested into learning how to aim is highly disrespected due to overtuned aim assist and the game is basically easier with the controller, but if they wanted to play on a controller, they would have bought a console in the first place. Or it would end up with console players being highly frustrated due to having to fight against mouse and keyboard players and feeling like they are being used as cannon fodder to fill up lobbies. I'm not saying that console players would stand zero chance against PC players, and I'm fully aware that some console players would still perform really well, but I do know that some people using devices on PlayStation and Xbox, which allows them to use mouse and keyboard, is a problem already, not just in hand, but when it comes to FPS games on console in general. And this problem would suddenly become the default, which at least in my opinion would be quite the opposite of fun. On top of that, in the case of Crytek adding an aimbot like aim assist, I know that even the console player base wouldn't like it. Or at least last time Crytek did play around with it, to some degree, the console community was quite unhappy about it, and like we see in this Reddit post with almost 1000 upvotes and a dev interaction within the comment section, the console community was not happy. My conclusion to this topic is that crossplay, if done right, as in being able to invite your friends from different platforms, could be a great thing and has a lot of potential, especially for Xbox and PlayStation players to invite each other. Like I said already, I wouldn't even mind if console players could join their PC friends to either enjoy the game with their PC gamer friends or to have a little bit of a challenge, but that is where it stops for me. I do not want a world in which Hunt Showdown becomes the next Apex Legends and aim assist is ruining the game for all of us. As a recent example, there is Marvel Rivals, who also has crossplay for quick play, the more casual game mode, but when it comes to competitive gaming, they separate the two platforms because they know it is a nightmare to balance, and even a company like NetEase, who is like millions if not billions of dollars heavy, doesn't even want to touch it. And they don't think they can solve the puzzle themselves. So why would Crytek be able to do it? This is not me being negative, it's just simply me being very realistic. At the end of the day, if I wanted to play Apex or Call of Duty, I would be doing that already. Hunt being on the hardcore end of the spectrum when it comes to FPS games is something which kept me playing. I'm sure we all love a little cowboy game because it is challenging and not because it's the most casual and fun game and just having a good time. We all enjoy gaming, but let's be honest, we all enjoy Hunt because it sometimes punches us in the face. I think crossplay has potential to increase the overall player base, but if done incorrectly, it also has the potential to completely kill the game, and that is scary. I think crossplay is something that has to be done perfectly, as in I described, or it will only make the game worse for all of us. Hunt has been out for 7 years now, and in my opinion it is not the time to reinvent the wheel, to get in some new players, to boost the player base for a short period of time, or at least not if the sacrifice could be potentially to change the game we all love forever and to something we do not want to play anymore. I think the negatives significantly outweigh the positive sides if crossplay is not implemented perfectly without any mistakes. But let me know what you guys think of this topic. Remember to stay respectful, and again, crossplay is not confirmed yet, but there is a direction the company is going, and I would like to spark a discussion about this topic before it happens. Then talk about it once it has been publicly announced. AKA it being too late already. This entire discussion could be pointless and Crytek maybe never planned on cross-platform crossplay, but considering what happened recently and with the statements they have made, I think it's worth talking about. But thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time. Get your gun, get your knife, lace your boots.